Okay, here we go. Quasi live stream. Live, well, we're live, but nobody else is live at this point. So this is a recording because for some reason our live stream capability is bouncing up and down with our signal strength. For some reason, we can't understand why. Everything else seems to be working just fine. And so we figured instead of doing the live stream, we'll just kind of do a live between us and move forward with the things we specifically wanted to talk about for everybody. So apologies, the live stream is not working. Dara will have this up as soon as he possibly can onto YouTube for everybody to see and review. So what were the things we wanted to talk about today?
So maybe just a little introduction for those who don't know us yet. This is Karl.
I'm Karl.
Karl is our president and I'm Samuel. And so we have a couple of bullet points that we are looking into today. One of the main one is its timing and key dates.
Yeah.
And also lead time.
Yeah. We've been so we did our live stream 2 weeks ago now, and 2 weeks ago on the live stream, the prior week we had over a month's worth of orders. Now I had said at the time we're booking about 3 weeks every week, and that was because the week prior had been less than a month. But since then things have kind of gone a little bit more stratospheric, and like even last week we booked a month and a half's worth of orders in 1 week, and this week we're already like half a month booked, and we're only on Tuesday. So I think the point we want to make to everybody, and this is not a big sales pitch in any way, shape or form, but it's if you think escape is for you, if you think that you're going to want an escape and you want something next year in June, July, August, September, October, November or December, then you'd be advised to put your deposit in right now, because we are already halfway booked into June.
Halfway of June is booked.
Halfway booked into June for 2020, for 2021. So if you think you want one, then I would say put your deposit in. Now, if you do put your deposit in, this is where things get a little different to what we have always done previously. So because we're so far out in terms of our bookings, if you put your deposit in now, what we will do is within a couple of days we will send you an email, and what that email will have in it is 4 key dates, the key milestones that you will need. And the first milestone date will be what we will call the start of configuration date, and that's really the date at which you will get all of the attention that you need from one of our configuration specialists, Jolie, Linda or Melissa, or possibly even Samuel, just depending on how busy things get. And that'll be the start of configuration. And what we're doing then is we're planning that we'll have a 1 month period. So date number one, the German one, is going to be start of configuration date. Then date number 2 will be what we call the confirmation date. And the confirmation date really is the date at which we sign off on the purchase agreement. And when we sign off on the purchase agreement, that is also the same date at which the deposit is non-refundable at that point. So you're signing off on the agreement saying you're happy, and we're going to move forward with that date. That's the second most important date. The third date is the actual production completion date, and that's the date at which all the assembly is complete and the product is sort of all moved all the way through production. And the last things we would have to do to that trailer at that point would be add in any other pieces that you've asked for, and give it a quick wash and sort of a very final sort of clean up before it goes out the door. That's the third date. And then the fourth date that we're putting in now, that we've never put in before, is your end of free storage date. And so the end of free storage date tells you the date at which really you want to plan to have that trailer out of escape, unless of course you want to pay the storage. And as you know, the storage is $300 per month for every month thereafter, or part of it. I haven't figured out the part yet. We don't really want to penalize people, but at the same time we want to encourage people to get their timing right and move on with their trailer and go and enjoy the experience where possible. We know things happen, so we always work with customers who get to times where they experience difficulties for whatever reason. We're not going to leave anybody completely out in the lurch on these things. So 4 key dates: start of configuration, sign off of the purchase agreement, the actual production completion date,
and then the storage, end of free storage.
So your four key dates. Now, let's just say you've booked for next June, and what would that be, March sort of time. So somewhere around February time, we'd be doing the start of configuration. So a person might think, oh my gosh, Karl, I got like 6 or 7 months before you're going to talk to me again. And so that's not going to be the case. What we'll be doing between now and then is we'll be sending you some emails and really trying to hook you up with all the information that you need to be able to make the decisions that you need to make when it comes your time to really start to lock things in. Of course, you have fabulous resources on our website. You can go and do the configurations, check off all the pricing, see where you want to look at. The one thing you probably can't do is the real custom side of things. Now what you can do is start thinking about your fabric, formica and flooring selections, and very specifically I'm going to say, if you want to choose something outside of the range that we currently have, then you might want to be thinking about organizing that. You can of course reach out to us, so there's nothing to say you can't email us and continue to ask us questions during this period of time, bearing in mind we are working with lots of other customers to make sure they get through their period, but we do have people here that will still answer those questions for you and help you move along in your configuration process. So I think that was the key part. If you think you want an escape next year and it's now after June, I would go ahead and book your deposit in straight away. Then you can work on the configuration and everything else that you need.
And we have customers who are maybe in the process of visiting other escape owners. We have the ambassador program. Even if you're booking in a production slot, and really this is what you're doing, you're placing your deposit for a production slot. So if we're holding, say, June 20th, for instance, and you're not sure if it's going to be the 21 NE as we are sitting in here, or maybe the 21 Classic, that too you can change until 3 to 4 months prior to completion. So lots of time on that side.
Yes, yeah, that's right. You don't have to even choose your model when you put your deposit in. You can tell us what you think you like, but you know, it's not an issue in changing it as we move forward. Oh, and another thing, of course, but a lot of people don't know or maybe don't think of is we're not here just to take your money, take your deposit money. We'll take your money for the trailer that we build for sure, but we're not here just to take your deposit money. So if someone says, oh, I booked something for June, Karl, but really I think I'm going to push it, I'd like to push it out to November, not an issue, no problem at all. We'd rather you push your date out if you know an escape is for you than cancelling your order, because remember, if you cancel your order before your purchase agreement is signed off, then you pay the credit card fees on the way out, and that's $150 US or $200 Canadian depending on your country that you're in. So we paid on the way in and you paid on the way out. So I think it's, if someone thinks escapes for them, just push the date out further. No problem at all.
On that note, we get quite a few requests regarding the 23 foot and also again lead time. Karl, do you want to say something about that?
Yeah, 23 foot. So we're making good progress on the Escape 23. My plan at the moment is to open it up for, I'm going to say orders, but really I'm opening it up for people to be able to get access to production slots at the end of September. Now the way we're probably going to run this is I want to try and make it fair for everybody in here, and some people, you know, I don't want to have it that there's the mad rush to the front of the shop to, you know, to get the items. So what we'll probably do is we'll have a form up on the website and we'll allow people to say, you know, I really am actually very interested in the Escape 23, Karl. So you know, put me in the list of people, and then what we'll probably do is do some sort of draw, I think, for the production slots that are available. And at that point, when we've done that, and I would like to say, and when I have a prototype to show everybody, then we'll look at taking deposits to secure those production slots after that. And in terms of timing, I mean, we're hoping, you know, our molds are in process right now. At least the early stage of the plug is in process, and we hope to have those molds in the early-ish part of November, which means we're building the prototype in November and early December, which then drives us into production in 2021. Of course, the challenge now is that the slots have all been booked. Now there are some people I know out there who have booked a slot for, say, a 21 or a fifth wheel, or usually it's 21 or fifth wheels, for this, and then they're saying, oh, but I might like to switch over to the 23, and that's not going to be an issue at all. The deposit's already in, they already know they want a certain trailer, and if if the 23 doesn't work out, then they're going to go for the 2150 or 19, whatever it might be, so they can switch over there. But otherwise, we're booked right out now to the middle of June. That's good in timing.
Yeah. We had 2020 we had a delivery special, and for 2021
United States deliveries.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good. Yeah, I forgot about that. So, okay, so we've done exceptionally well in the last what's it now, 6 months.
Mhm.
I say we've been running this the US delivery special, and we're going to continue with a US delivery special. We're going to kind of change a little bit how we're coordinating the deliveries. There's a couple of things there's a few things that are coming back to me from the delivery side of things that I think we can implement to make it better. I'm going to say better on both sides, to make it a win-win for both sides of us, the customer and for us. So at the moment, we finalize the person's delivery a week before it goes,
Mhm.
and then the delivery company gets in contact with you to tell you where they're going to meet you, and typically that's in a location for a towing company, or a company that can offload the trucks or trailers off the back of the truck. So we've had some lots of good experiences, but some not so good experiences with some of these tow truck operators, especially when you get into more rural areas, not necessarily following our direction, and it kind of makes things a little bit tense for the customer and our delivery drivers. So what we're going to do now is we're going to say, okay, let's define some hubs all around the States, some very specific hubs, so that people know exactly where they're going to go and collect their trailer from. And I think we spaced them out well, so that they serve the country well, and so we've done all of that, and we priced it up so it's going to look good for the customers, without a doubt. The other advantage or the benefit that I see from it is that we've already talked to a lot of these professional towing companies around the place, and they'll be able to store the trailer there for the customer. So I like this idea, because then it gives the customer a little bit more flexibility. We can deliver the trailer there on, say, a Tuesday or a Wednesday, which is typically what happens. It gets out of here at the weekend, and it gets there for Tuesday, Wednesday, depending on where they are. And then the customer can say, well, I don't want to take time off work, I'm going to come and pick the trailer up on Saturday, whatever it might be. So I think a little bit more flexibility for customers, and that kind of leads into something else that I'm going to work on later this year, and maybe moving into 2021, which is really trying to work on further developing these hubs, these spots, and trying to link up with some good quality RV repair locations, whether it's a dealership or it's just a strict sort of repair, sort of mechanics locations, so that we can then start to build up some authorized RV service centers around the location. And that makes it just even better, I think, for people to be able to build relationships with those locations. Or if you're traveling around the States,
Yes.
and something happens and you're like, oh, I'm right close to such and such, we'll pull in and get that. Now, as it happens today, and the reason that we use Dometic and Lippert and Max Air XL and on the Max fan and different people is that they're fairly ubiquitous all across North America. So you can drop into most RV shops and you will get looked after and fixed. I just want to take it to the next level.
So when are we releasing this?
Yeah, we'll release these, be out by Monday of next week. Everybody, if you like, Kansas, maybe, a little bit further over, sort of Kansas central line of the US, across to the East Coast, nothing really changes. And then everybody east of Kansas, nothing really changes. West of Kansas, there are some changes. So there are a couple of areas west of Kansas that are, for some reason, really expensive to deliver to. And it's because the reasoning for it is because the backhaul is very poor. So the truckers have a lot of dead miles, and they have dead miles that costs a lot more money. So we're under some pressure on those ones. So we revised some of those locations, but I think it's still very accessible and very, very cost effective for people. So I went through and made sure that it was still more cost effective to get delivery than it was to drive to Chilliwack.
So for our Canadian customers, we are still able to deliver all the way to Ontario,
Yeah, that's true.
and it will be a case-by-case quote.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, for us Canadians, it's a challenge because the backhaul out of Ontario and places, Quebec, Ontario, places which is where the longest sort of distance type stuff is not very good coming back to Vancouver. So it ends up and it's an expensive haul to get all the way over there. So I'm working on solutions that may make that more cost effective for people. I just haven't got it nailed down yet. So we're going to keep working on that.
So if you happen to have an order in you're in Ontario or Quebec, in terms of timeline, again, 4 months before completion, we will reach out to you and we'll give you the opportunity to ask for a quote on delivery. And if you would like to do that, we'll get it on a truck and send it your way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be a road trip for you to us.
Yeah, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
Rockies is a beautiful place to come over.
Yes.
Gorgeous. What else we got, Samuel? Support build sheet 2021 options. 2021 options. Okay, so we talked about 2021 options the last time we had one of these live streams. Lots of questions coming in. Still working on finalizing some of the finer details on these options. Composting toilets we're already squared away on. That's Nature's Head. The flush mount oven we're already done. We'll get a sample of that. That's the GLP. Looks very, very nice. The Coleman MDQ Mac 10, that's already squared away, so we're good with all of that. One that people are really interested in is a new color that we're looking at. So again, this will all be done before the end of September. So we have Jolie's hot to trot. She's working on this one. We're going to meet again tomorrow on it. So we have samples in from our suppliers, and really now it's just a matter of going through and picking something that will work for us. And I'm colorblind, so I'm not the guy to do this.
Okay.
And I just like everything that the ladies come up with. So
Very nice.
it's the way to stay married.
Parts and service.
Parts and service.
So for customers who purchase and the unit is delivered, if there are questions or concerns,
Yeah.
How-
Maybe what I'll do is I'll very quickly explain a new process that I put in place here at Escape, really, to handle the parts and service side of things. And I pulled this from my automotive background. So very important that you read the warranty statement or the warranty policy that's in your owner's manual, and it's also freely available on our website. It tells you what's covered under what terms and for what time periods in your warranty. Second thing, check your spam. We have a lot of customers who email us, especially when it comes to parts and service and the warranty side of things. They'll email us, we'll email them back, it's in their spam, and then they're worried that we're not paying any attention to them, and nothing could be further from the truth. We respond and we don't hear anything back, and we're like, oh, what's going on? But then we respond again and we don't hear anything back, so we're not entirely sure what's going on. Email in or call us. Make sure you always call us or email us. Once we get your email, we now have a tool in place where we log your issue. So it's there and it's visible. It's visible to me, it's visible to you, it's visible to everybody inside the company what the issue is. We give it a number, so you'll have a ticket as well. We start off by identifying this issue and saying, okay, we need to document the issue with the customer. Let's really understand what's going on. And then we have a process where essentially we move you through different stages. So from us documenting the issue to working on a solution, so protecting the customer, working on a solution, and then moving forwards to having a resolution, to us moving it as we understand it to complete. And then we're having one more stage where I'm specifically having a reception team call out the customers and say, is it closed? Is it really closed? Are you happy? Can we close this off? And then we'll move it to resolution complete by customer, or accepted by customer. So that's kind of our process. If you have any other issues, so email, call reception, the first thing they will do is put you in the list, the list of items. And it's been working really quite well. So I keep an eye on this list. I'll jump in every day and just have a quick look at the progress and see whatever issues are. We don't actually have that many issues, not in comparison to what I've seen before in other companies, not especially the automotive side of things. So, you know, and that's everything from a parts issue to a real warranty issue to a, you know, to just, I can't make this thing work type issue. So Dustin is very, very good. You know, there, but remember, his process is he'll follow the warranty policy. So you need to set your expectations based on what the warranty policy says. Parts and service at escapetrailer.com. Parts and service, all one word, parts and service at escapetrailer.com. So that's where you would email if you have any issues. Otherwise, call reception. Just call up Elaine or whoever at reception and say, I have an issue, can you please log me, give me the number, and then Elaine will make sure she chases these things through with Dustin.
Very good.
Okay, so that's that.
Comparison chart. So we have an
And check your spam.
and check your spam. Yeah, that's right. On our webpage, under trailers, where you see all the different trailer floor plans, on the very bottom there's a page that's called comparison chart. So the comparison chart is meant to give a quick idea of, you know, that's a 17, that's a 19, what's the measurement on it, and every now and so often we have customers who are not quite certain if a unit will fit, say, in the garage, for instance. So we remeasured the units and we put those information there. Have a look. It's brand new.
Yeah. So what happened here previously was, I think we were high. We were never low. Now I did the measurements, so I was, you know, I did the measurements with a level and different things when this came up, and I erred on the side of caution. I said, okay, you know, we're gonna add some tolerance here so that they're always higher,
Right.
so no one gets tripped up. Now, what of course came back then was there were some folks who were like, oh my gosh, I only have it, there's an inch, you're an inch higher than what I thought you would be. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it is higher. So we went and we measured it pretty much to the millimeter now. You understand millimeters.
Millimeters is clear to me. Yes.
Canadians all understand millimeters. So unless you're in the construction industry, so very fine measurement, and so it's right on the money now. Those heights. So Daryl updated the website with, and this comparison sheet is a really good sheet. Anybody new coming to Escape wanting to see what the difference is between all the units, the comparison charts are really, really valuable.
Yeah. A little heads up on the length. We measure from the very front of the trailer to the back of the bumper. So there's a spare tire that's about 6 inches, 6 to 7 inches roughly.
Extra,
Which you would add to that measurement, but you can take that spare tire off. Yeah.
Which is why, you know, when we do the measurement, I say, listen, it's all the fixed bits that you can't change. That's what's important. You can take a spare tire off if you need to get into your garage, but it's the fixed bits and the bits that's really important. So that's why the measurements are hitch to bumper. Rear bumper.
Yeah, I think this is it for topics for today.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else right now. So the key things we hit were the lead times, and if you're interested, and in those cases for you, put your deposit in now. You can always move your date with no repercussions to you. Everything is fine on that. We give you the 4 dates, so you know where you stand. We'll be in contact in the interim to help you move along with your configuration. We talked about delivery options to the US, so we'll be putting in a hub system instead of this zone system, and that will be out on Monday, and everyone will still be pretty much squared away and all of that. We talked about the build sheet, the 2021 options. So all will be fully defined by the end of September, and really, you know, anybody who's in January, you'll still have plenty of time to make a decision on those. And then we talked about support and warranty, the key thing being A, check your spam, B, you know, if you do have any issues, email us at partsandservice@escapetrailer.com or call the number, toll-free number, and the reception team will take your issue and they'll put it into the system so that we can give you the best support possible.
Also, all these live streams are recorded. You'll find probably when you compare different trailers, sometimes people are not quite sure, is it the 21 Classic or this one, that they're like, you can revisit those live stream and watch them. We spent about an hour or so in each, and
they're live. We did them all
live
live,
ones,
right?
yes.
So there are bloopers and there are
And then the next stage, if you want to have us walk you through that trail and answer your questions, book a one-on-one.
Yeah.
That's online as
Yeah.
well. And Harrison and Melissa, they're doing a wonderful job on it, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, lots of one-on-one. I think the personal one-on-one sort of point of view tours that we're doing is like the best way to educate quickly on an escape.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. Apologies again that the actual live stream part of this didn't work, but we conducted as usual as though we're live. We just don't have the questions to answer from people. We're all good. We'll be
Thank
back
you.
again in a couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Bye.